Hi friends, this is Kristen from the Pros and Cons team, and today I'm really excited to talk to you about the pros and cons of getting your degree in political science. So I switched my degree from elementary ed to political science, and I just want to talk about some of the pros and cons. I think one of my major pros of having a degree in political science is you learn how much you don't know about politics. Anybody that has a degree in political science and thinks that they know a ton about politics is off their rocker. You can know a lot, but to really know politics and everything and all the laws, it is pretty much impossible. So it always makes me kind of when people are like, well, I got my degree in political science, therefore I know. And it's unless you can be I specifically studied this government in the government in Egypt, and you can become really good at that. But to be overall I'm just really good at politics is kind of there's so much out there. So that was something that is really a good pro of being in political science. But something that I really loved about political science is I learned what I feel like every American should be learning about our government. I think that there are a lot of things that Americans don't realize that they have the right. And it's kind of you don't learn those things sometimes in high school, and it's really important to learn those things. And so sometimes the political science degree, it was just nice to be wow, this is my right, or being knowledgeable to some degree of where we stand, or when politicians do things, I'm more skeptical sometimes. So that's a pro, is I think you just have, the more you know, the better it is. And the more you're willing to reach out and be you know what, I need to be a part of the politics in my area. So that is a really good thing. Another great thing with political science is it's a super good stepping stone if you're wanting to become a lawyer or a lobbyist or a judge. It's a good starter. Okay, moving on to the cons. It is a starter. It's a starter degree. There are not a lot of jobs, I feel that is just a political science. You usually need to go on for a larger degree in either teaching or becoming a lawyer or things like that. So that is a con. Another thing is a lot of the political science jobs, so if you are going to land a political science job, a lot of them take place in bigger cities, or close to Washington, D.C. if you want to go that far. So it makes it hard if you like to be in a small town. And that's something I realized after I graduated, is I was I wouldn't want to live in a huge city or in the state capital, by the state capital, and do stuff like that. So it just depends. But if you're wanting to go and become a lawyer, then yes, you can pretty much practice law anywhere. But that is another con. There's also the political science stereotype. I really, at least my degree, I felt I learned a lot of law and a lot about the Constitution or how things run, policies. And I don't feel I learned a lot about current events as much as I would like to, but I really liked learning about different political systems and all that. But there is a stereotype that you're eccentric if you go into political science. And there are the eccentrics. There are the extreme conservatives and the extreme liberals, and those are the ones that your degree gets kind of named after, gets the stereotype. Every degree has their stereotype, but when I tell people political science, it was oh yeah, you're one of those people that are extremes. And I mean I had some people in my classes and they were extremes on both sides, but a lot of people are a little bit more moderate, most people are. So that is another con. Another thing is I had several professors that would not say where their political views were, because they were we don't want to sway you one way or the other, but then they would teach their opinions. And that really bothered me because I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, to make a logical judgment, you need to know where the perspective is coming from that you're teaching this. And not all things are coming from a political perspective. Like, you can teach law and not show one side or the other. You can, like, show that. But you can be very bipartisan. But there's definitely professors that like to throw in their opinion, but don't like to say where they're coming from. So you kind of take it as fact. So you have to be really careful with that. And I guess it really depends on the school and your professors, but I was always a little bit frustrated when they wouldn't kind of name where they stood politically if they were going to teach things as fact that were more politicized and really weren't facts, like they were more opinions. So those are some of the pros and cons that I've thought of. If there are additional pros and cons that you would like to add, please leave them in the comments below. And you can check out more pros and cons on the blog linked in the description below. I hope you have a great day. Bye.